Kind of overcast day, let's have some depressing poems. Feel even worse. All right, this is called Monday. Overcast Monday, and my traveling thoughts are drab as the Sunday suits of winter towns. Although I skitter like a pencil point in search of sense, when I connect the dots, I find the to and fro of all my trails terminate in the same old dreary pride and shame, both equally unjustified. And every distant, beckoning, bright-lit sign along the road heralds a burger joint with a scarred table and an empty seat I easily identify as mine. And every shady residential street that looked from far off like a paradise is lined with tacky rummage sales, willing to give away at any price my old self-portraits done in grays and browns, those dusty effigies of sad-faced clowns. A couple things about this. Cubic zirconia is almost indistinguishable from diamonds. Now, if you're not an expert, the zirconia is too bright, so they put a coating on it to make it a little less bright, to make it more diamond-like. But the way you can tell is that if you heat a diamond, it gets very hot very quickly, whereas if you heat cubic zirconia, it stays very cold. And this is actually a dramatic monologue from Beyond the Grave. Things I was thankful for before I died. A sunburned city that, when it paid attention, loathed me for loving wrongly, as they thought, but rarely noticed my existence, letting the bent ones walk among the needle straight without the tortures children love to practice. And for my mom and dad, whose love for me was smothered under ashes from the bridges we'd burned, but who allowed me to live jobless all through the long recession in the little apartment over the garage where I could bring home lovers and my parents would not have to see or to admit they saw. And beyond that, they gave me an allowance in exchange for doing the demeaning chores they'll have to hire an illegal immigrant to do now that I'm gone. And for internet chat rooms where I could assume any identity, and often more than one, could even talk to myself, the Paris Hilton heiress chatting up the gangster rapper in a Raiders jersey with a Smith & Wesson stuck in his waistband. And lastly, for my cubic zirconia earrings, coated with diamond-like carbon to enhance their luster, gaudy studs that sparkled even in low lighting, drawing eyes up to my face, my eyes turned glamorous by borrowed glitter, pricey, but less so than diamonds, so I could imitate the wealthy and draw the envy of the passing crowd. A poor decision, since my reading told me that even back in the time of Beowulf, our tribes would kill to get a little sparkle. If my assassins had my earrings tested for conductivity and found that instead of heating up like diamonds, the studs remained cold as the alley where they left me lying, would they regret the expense and risk of putting a bullet in my head? No, I'm sure they knew what they were up to. They had me sized up not as a rich kid, but as someone who wanted to be as big as television. Probably they took umbrage at my clothes or my vocabulary, or more simply at my competing for the world's attention. And so I died, and my reality proved not quite real enough to make it on the TV news. I tried to be the one that people watch, but ended up a watcher, and now my earrings and my eyes are gone. I'll finish up with the U poem from my A through Z series. It's called Anonymium. Anonymium is a synthetic element with the atomic number 111, thus un. It was renamed later Rentgenium, although there is at least one internet website that is pushing to keep the name Anonymium because it's just so wonderful. So, Anonymium. Nothing is certain but the certainty of nothing. the numb entropic zero sum of all my creativity, erosive necessity with eons to atomize the here and gone awareness needed to make a thing. Beyond the face of the deep, onto the pseudo-infinite inexpressiveness of a comatose tabula rasa, I spray scrawl my ephemeral graffiti, ebullient and frantic, my artifice, my identity. I can't imagine even a sentient universe excited at the thought of the Italian sonnet or the credit card. But there was a moment when I stuttered out a miracle, my Anonymium, a fearful symmetry resonant with my numeric system, 111 I am, rushed into existence at great expense and gone in seconds. Something new in nature, or at least as rare as a chimera, none to be found in the moon, and no more than a rumor in the undulant humming furnace of a star. Born in a linear accelerator, overstuffed and swiftly suicidal, could those first three atoms be said to have a half-life? Might it be that the more outlandishly baroque my children are, the more my physics pushes toward the metaphysical, the more ephemeral they and I become, a built-in penalty for ingenuity? If I could ever see and hold my newborn, this strenuous new substance, a metal only by a technicality, it would be ponderous, heavier even than osmium, and probably silvery, perceived as Tinkerbell might be, a glimmer, a wisp, a wink, existing only as long as I fervently believe. Thank you.